You guys, it's official. We are swimming in the deep end of the digital era. In a world where generations are having their social self-esteem governed by how many likes they can get on a post, it's no surprise that many of us take every opportunity we can to collect likes, posting frequently, taking the time to build an aesthetic feed, maybe even stealing a funny tweet or two, all in an attempt to gain a bit more attention online where, as it turns out, likes and attention can literally pay your bills. This is the attention economy. Many may be quick to call this need for online attention a byproduct of not having your needs met as a child. Some might say it's simply a new way of spreading personal news, the inevitable, now that commenting on a family member's Facebook post has become more common than a grueling hour-long phone call with aunt number 3 who you only see on Thanksgiving. It doesn't really matter how we ended up here, the point is, we are here now. Something that comes with the territory of us spending hours online, sharing random details about our lives, is that for years now, maybe even over a decade depending on your age, you have built up an extensive online library chronicling your thoughts, opinions, musical preferences, and evolving looks. Chances are you posted a generous handful of them with the hopes of getting a decent amount of likes. Of course, there are still people out there who genuinely post simply for the purpose of posting. They don't use a bunch of hashtags on every picture. They don't expect to get a single like or follow, and they couldn't care less about engagement. But there are also people who post for the sole purpose of being noticed. You can go on YouTube right now and search how to be an influencer, where you will be met with pages upon pages of polished tutorials teaching you how to edit pictures, use the best tags, and grow a following. Maybe you don't want to be an influencer. Maybe the terrifying thought of making a living from Instagram makes you suddenly love your 9-to-5 job and stable paycheck more than ever. Even if you don't want to be a social media celebrity, there's a good chance that a small slice of attention and likes makes you happy every time you post something. 50 likes, that's a dopamine rush. 10 new followers, that's a dopamine rush. I've heard the social media dopamine rush can be compared to a slot machine, where every time you get a notification that you are secretly yearning for, you want to feel it again and again. So every time you post an aesthetically pleasing pic or a thoughtful tweet, you just fed more money, I guess you could say, into the slot machine, patiently waiting for the jackpot that you crave. As with most things in life, if you want to acquire more of something, then you should do the activity that will lead to the desired results more frequently. So if you want more likes and follows, you should post more often. Ask any social media quote-unquote guru. It's no secret that most media companies favor creators that publish more content. In a sense, you're rewarded for posting more and more. And obviously, I see the irony in that as someone who's been posting every day, although my goal isn't to be rewarded by YouTube, it's simply because it was a goal of mine that I want to see to completion. So even if you aren't seeing it in that way of feeding the machine, the fact is that your account will likely be promoted more and pushed to the tops of people's feeds more if you are being loyal to the company by keeping the amount of content fed into their site high, thereby giving people more things to see, thereby keeping eyes on their site for longer. And this is especially true for very big creators who post very frequently. It's never a day that goes by where even if you're signed out of YouTube, you would go to YouTube's homepage and there you have it, 20,000 Mr. Beast videos. He posts a lot and he gets very high numbers, so YouTube will constantly keep rewarding him. This is the attention economy after all, and attention equals money. Of course, the average user isn't seeing it in this way. You're just posting, relaying your thoughts and feelings to your followers, sharing a few pictures from your day. Some are staged, maybe, to make you look as good as possible. Some are quick shots of cool things you saw. Either way, you're just posting what you want and hoping that your followers will like what they see and maybe even relay their enjoyment to you with that double tap. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Well, not inherently, but as it is with many things involving social media in modern times, all is not as well as it seems. I recall a time where the internet was taught to be a scary place, where if you used your real name or showed your face, everyone thought that you were in grave danger of being abducted or something. Flash forward to now, where young women regularly post nudes or suggestive photos without so much as a second thought, and will be showered with comments ranging from "Queen" to "Drop your fitness routine, sis." People post house tours, they vlog everywhere that they go and everything that they do without a second thought. What I'm saying is, posting freely online doesn't really feel scary anymore. It feels, for a lot of people, somewhat safe and comforting. And with that comes ease of expression. It doesn't really feel performative to post whatever thought enters your mind as soon as you think of it. It feels completely normal to acquire hundreds or thousands of posts that you hardly remember writing. So, what happens when likes and attention fuel one's online self esteem and posting large portions of your life feels effortless? Well, in comes the phenomenon of sharing all of your achievements and highlights to the world. This isn't anything new, of course. People have been running their mouths to the whole town about engagements and job offers and pregnancies for centuries. Only now it has a much larger reach and with much more instant gratification. Years ago, only your classmates and family members would know that you got accepted into a top school. A few years later, the news of your prestigious education would be passed to employers and then perhaps in-laws. Now, university acceptance news routinely amasses hundreds of thousands of retweets and millions of views on YouTube within days of being posted. Same with beautifully staged child expectancies, gender reveals, and other life upgrades. Knowing that praise and admiration will follow when you share your life's highlight reel is quite tempting, and it's human nature to crave that public validation. Even with wins on a smaller scale, like showing off good grades, announcing what workout you completed, how much weight you've lost, what books you've read this year, what car you bought, or what iPhone you upgraded to, humans crave validation for doing difficult things. And obviously, I'm not saying all of those things are difficult, but maybe getting the money to buy them was the difficult thing. And so we're very proud to show off what we've amassed. Now, with the overwhelming presence of social media, it seems as if we crave validation for, well, everything. Even when we don't actually have anything to celebrate yet, it's extremely common for people to announce big plans for themselves, such as their new diet rules or personal growth goals, and get tons of likes and encouragement, triggering an onslaught of dopamine as if they have already accomplished what it is they set out to do. But they haven't. They just posted about it and may or may not have committed a single 24 hours to it. The thrill of publicly announcing something good and receiving validation and instant gratification is unrivaled online. It's something that most of us are all guilty of doing at some point in time. There's, the popular phrase that goes, pics or it didn't happen, which is meant to say that without documenting something that you claim to have seen or done, no one will believe you. We all have smartphones equipped with incredible cameras, so there's hardly any reason for you to not be able to prove your claims. Maybe the skepticism comes from us being tired of hearing tall tales of Bigfoot encounters, or maybe people are just hesitant to accept the words of anonymous strangers behind a screen without proper evidence. Either way, it has become custom to take proof shots of nearly everything. Your meal, the mile tracker on your treadmill, your concert footage, celebrity encounters, and so much more. Documenting everything that's even remotely cool about your life and quickly sharing it to the masses seems to be the world's favorite pastime. It's come to a point where people seem to feel an overwhelming compulsion to publicly announce everything, whether it be good or bad. I've seen countless posts that say things like, just got detention, LOL, or it's been an hour and I'm still sitting at this restaurant waiting on my food, what the heck? As if those are things that are truly worth letting the world know about. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not criticizing anyone for posting stuff like that. Not everything needs to be the most profound and thought-provoking post to ever grace humanity's eyes. I truly don't care. In fact, I actually tend to enjoy reading those types of what I guess you could call filler posts. However, just because you enjoy or partake in something doesn't mean that it isn't allowed to be looked at closely and questioned. A big part of it that I can't help but to question is, why do we share everything? Why do we feel so comfortable letting our entire orbit know intimate or sporadic details about our day-to-day lives? Is it really all about the dopamine rush of getting likes and curating an interesting online persona? Is it really as innocent as being able to easily let our friends and family keep up with us even when they aren't present? Both of those options don't seem too bad, and in fact, they're actually quite positive experiences. Getting validation and nice conversation from those who you care about while having fun scrolling through your feed is pretty nice. Unfortunately, though, with everything positive, there's probably a negative side to it as well, especially when we're talking about the internet. Sharing online can lead to many good things, but there also lies the opportunity for criticism and hate towards you. As you may have experienced at some point in life, the phrase misery loves company exists for a reason. Do you honestly think that everyone who reads your post about spending your birthday in Vegas is happy for you? Do you really think that posting pictures of your latest luxury haul isn't ruffling a few feathers? No matter how undeserving of haters or whatever you think you are, the truth of the matter is there are going to be people who simply aren't fans of certain things you say or do and may secretly wish for you to be taken down a few notches. A feeling of why not me tends to exist in people's minds when someone else receives good fortune that they were also pining after. When you announce your business to the world, you are opening the door to praise, but also to bad judgments or maybe even competition. Say, for example, you tweeted, I only have to type 2 more pages and then I'll be the first person in the entire class to turn in this essay. There's a likelihood that someone will rush to finish their own last few pages just to spite you and be the first person to turn it in instead of you. They may not even dislike you, but by oversharing, you open the doors to competition and had a good thing taken away from you. This urge to let everyone know when you are starting a race, when you are getting close to the finish line, and when you are victorious is typically a fun journey of documentation, letting people come along for the ride and maybe even inspire them to do the same by following your blueprint. This documentation can be very helpful, especially for things like weight loss journeys or following routines to grow long, healthy hair. But for everything else, what is all of the documentation really necessary for? A lot of times it seems to just be the urge to announce things publicly, no matter how small, and always have your victory celebrated by the masses. There is something about the positive feedback being available for everyone else to see that really does something amazing to one's mind. Your social standing, your self-esteem, your feeling of worth all skyrockets with it. For many people, it's so hard to keep good news to yourself. Like, why shouldn't you let everyone know that the dish you spent 2 hours cooking turned out marvelous? What's so wrong with letting everyone see how loose your favorite dress is now that you've ketoed your way to a much smaller size? Are you a bad guy for sharing a picture of you and your dad courtside at a basketball game for his birthday? Of course not. In my eyes, there isn't anything inherently wrong with wanting to share news about yourself online. It's your business, it's your prerogative. But on the flip side, I think that it's within our best interest to practice withholding information sometimes too. If no one knows that you upgraded your apartment, does that mean that your achievement is now obsolete? No, you still have a new, bigger living space. If your high school peers that you haven't seen in 6 years don't know that your new job is relocating you to a cool neighborhood in San Francisco, does that mean that the move isn't happening anymore? No, your life is still as interesting as ever, even if only your parents and 2 best friends are aware of it. I have spent the last few years mostly away from social media, with my only online presence being on my Tumblr, where I started posting more and more infrequently and routinely take long stretches of time away, months and months away, as I continue getting further and further into my digital minimalism journey, with me knowing that at some point I am going to stop using my account altogether. Most people have multiple platforms that they post on. They may have a Twitter, a TikTok, an Instagram, and whatever else. But for me, I only have one platform. So with that lack of platforms to share on, kind of takes away my need to share at all. I stopped caring about announcing everything publicly years ago, and I learned to celebrate the majority of my wins alone or simply with my best friends, my sisters, things like that. I no longer feel the need for the entire world to congratulate me on studying long hours or completing fitness goals. And even though I always return to the digital world when I come back from my long breaks away from it, such as last year, I think I was gone for like 6 months out of the year in total or something like that, I still hold that sentiment on the matter. Somehow, I feel much more secure with myself than ever. I can truly say that I am accomplishing things because I genuinely want to, not because it'll make for a cooler post. I can eat food because it tastes good and not because it looks more Instagrammable. I can wear clothes because I actually like them, not because it's the trendy new look that's getting the most likes and jealousy for being able to afford it. When you feel secure enough in your achievements and life's choices, it doesn't matter if the world also feels proud of you or agrees with what you're doing. Healthy self-esteem, and I've said this 1,000 times before, and I'm going to keep saying it, But healthy self-esteem doesn't come from a constant stream of external validation. It comes from doing esteemable things and knowing your own self-worth. I encourage everyone to take a step back and really question why you want to announce everything for others to see. Maybe it'll be nice to keep some wins to yourself every once in a while. I'm sure your mental health in relation to social media usage will improve from the practice of allowing your own personal happiness to become enough validation. If you complete a marathon, it doesn't matter if you get 20 likes, 20,000 likes, or withhold from posting about it at all. Your achievement still stands. It's okay to keep things offline and be more minimalistic and mindful of what you allow to pollute online spaces. Trust me, I've been doing it for years, and I couldn't be happier with my decision to let most of my life's victories remain private. Not everything, no matter how amazing and awe-inducing it is, needs to be seen by the masses. True confidence is silent. Now, to wrap all of this up, again, this isn't to say that you're wrong for sharing things. I still share things as well, but it's a very minor amount of things that I share. Maybe I'll share the start of me doing something because I do have a lot of followers who are interested in self-development, and so seeing examples of me doing something can help them. But other than that, I don't necessarily care to document the entire thing. I very rarely talk about all of the things that I finished, about all of the things going on financially, about my living spaces, or anything like that. There's just no need to have everyone all up in my business. And part of that is protecting my peace and allowing the things that I'm doing that make me happy to stay that way. I was doing it because I wanted to, not because I need everyone else to give me a pat on the back for doing it. That helps it to remain enjoyable in the long run. So I hope that this year and years to come, maybe you'll consider keeping more things to yourself if you are someone who finds yourself sharing a bit too much on the internet. What you'll find is that nothing about your life will degrade in the process. Like I said, none of the achievements go away just because people don't know about them. They are still happening, and you still know about them, and you should still feel good about them, even though you're keeping it private. There's nothing wrong with living a more private life. Bye!